Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Trinidad Titan, a.k.a. Hollywood Smooth, Justin Smooth, OVW two-time heavyweight champion. You are listening to the Dave Dynasty Show.
My little itty-bitty bruiser buddies.
United States heavyweight champion from Brazil. The world's heavyweight champion from the AWA, Nick Bockwinkel.
The Midwest supporting, bruiser loving, positivity spreading, world's most dangerous podcast. Join former pro wrestler and promoter Dave Dynasty as he supports and promotes Midwest pro wrestling. Keep on growing with the Midwest Express. This is the Dave Dynasty Show.
Greetings, diehards, and welcome to the Dave Dynasty Show. I am your host, Dave Dynasty. Thank you for joining us for another episode, another week here on the Dave Dynasty Show, your podcast for Midwest professional wrestling history, as well as the present, and that's what we're covering today. This is a Ohio Valley Wrestling heavy episode today, as our spotlight guest today is the OVW champion, the Trinidad Titan, Justin Smooth. If you do not know who Justin Smooth is, if you have not seen Justin Smooth in action, stop what you're doing right now. Put this on pause and go check out Justin Smooth. This guy is going to be, he is a star, but he is going to be a huge star in this business. Mark my words. And we have him on today for a great interview. And of course, we also have the Ohio Valley Wrestling Report from Brian Cannon at OVW Mania. That is his blog covering all the Ohio Valley wrestling action. And he's been doing that for a long time, many years. So go check him out. OVWmania.blogspot.com is where you can find that. Before we real quick talk about some upcoming events that I would like to encourage you to see. October 5th in Columbus, Indiana, Hoosier Pro Wrestling, my first promotion where I got my start, where Dave Dynasty was born, present the show, and they will have Hall of Famer and Midwest legend Jimmy Valiant there. Handsome Jimmy will be there, and I plan to be there to see Jimmy and to return to my old stomping grounds. October 12th, Crawfordsville, Indiana, New Generation Wrestling presents Quest for the Cup. Once again, I plan to be at that show. We are one of the sponsors. You've heard us unveil a couple of the teams in the past. It's going to be a great night, a tag team tournament for that cup. October 18th at South Bend, Indiana, Impact Wrestling will be there, and again, we plan to be there covering that for you. October 20th, Chicago, Illinois, Impact Wrestling will be there for their Bound for Glory pay-per-view. Should be a great show. And November 2nd, and also in Chicago, Illinois, Major League Wrestling will debut on pay-per-view with the main event, LA Park, challenging Jacob Fatu for the MLW Championship. That match will be unbelievable. So we're going to get right into it here. No fluff today. We're going to go right to it. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have that interview with the OVW champion, Justin Smooth, the Trinidad Titan himself. So stick around. Hey, make sure you visit DaveDynasty.com. That is your central hub for everything within the world of the Dave Dynasty Show. From there, you can find links to follow us on all of our social media accounts. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube, which you will want to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have lots of classic wrestling, every episode of the podcast, and other exclusive features there. While you're at DaveDynasty.com, check out the links to help financially support the show. That is how we keep this free every week. You can go to PROWRESTLINGTEES.com/TheDaveDynasty and buy a shirt to help us out. PayPal.me/TheDaveDynasty to make a one-time financial contribution. Patreon.com/TheDaveDynasty to make ongoing monthly contributions. Or you can click our affiliate links for Amazon.com and HighSpots.com. No additional charge to you, but it helps us out. Thank you for your support, and check out DaveDynasty.com. Complete your experience, The Dave Dynasty Show.
Hey everyone, this is Brian Cannon of OVW Mania, and I'm here for the OVW Report on the Dave Dynasty Show. I will be recapping Wednesday night, September 18th's live OVW show from the historic Davis Arena. It was live here in the local area on WBNA 21 in Louisville. And it featured all the fallout of the big Fight for Freedom show that they had at 4th Street just the week prior. So it starts out, if you were in the arena, if you're familiar with OVW, we see a video of Tony Gunn, who is a former OVW champion. He turned on Sami Callihan in a surprising move last week and helped Team OVW win. And Randall Floyd and Dustin Jackson are still confronting him wanting answers because they got hit with baseball bats. And then Tony Gunn hits Sami Callihan with a baseball bat. And they want to know what he's thinking and what's going on. But Tony just walks away without saying anything. So that'll be an interesting thing to keep an eye on. Then Justin Smooth comes out to the ring. He is your current OVW heavyweight champion to start the show. He says the best part of the recap of Fight for Freedom, after they showed a video of it, was him and his successful title defense against Corey Storm. He says he beat Corey cleanly, and that even though Corey gave him a good fight and tried to make a name for himself, he's a megastar, he's the champion, and he gets interrupted by Corey Storm. So Corey comes out and says that Smooth is lying to the people, that Storm himself was the better man, and that Smooth had to resort to cheating and putting his feet on the ropes to beat him. He gives it to Smooth that he gives him a fight every time they step in the ring together, and everyone on social media wants to know what's next for Corey. And he says that he's entering the TV title gauntlet. And then Smooth starts laughing and saying, how can you go from the heavyweight title down to the TV title? Well, this frustrates the new TV champion, Rhino, who comes to the ring and gets in Smooth's face. But Smooth says that Rhino misunderstood that the TV title is prestigious and it's great to have Rhino here in his house. Smooth leaves the ring, and then Rhino tells Corey that he was impressed by him last week, but Rhino plans on bringing 110% into the gauntlet. Corey Storm says, well, that's fine. I'm bringing 120%. The next match of the night featured the OVW Southern Tag Team titles with King's Ransom going up against the Legacy of Brutality. Now, Cash Flow and Jay Bradley of the Legacy of Brutality actually won the titles, but the Legacy of Brutality pulled one over on King's Ransom last night by using the Freebird rule. So it ended up being Big Zoe and the Hood Ninja Isaiah defending the titles for the Legacy of Brutality. And because of the numbers game with the Legacy of Brutality, they ended up getting the best of King's Ransom. So even though King's Ransom, one of them, I believe it was Maximus, got a spear on Cash Flow and pinned him for the 3, the referee realized that Cash Flow wasn't actually an active participant in that match. So then Isaiah rolled Maximus up to get the 3. So Legacy of Brutality is still your OVW Southern Tag Team Champions. Then the television title gauntlet was the main event of the evening. It featured Lee Holiday, an up-and-comer, defeating Ashton Cove and then Dapper Dan. The former TV champion, Drew Hernandez, came out, defeated Lee Holiday after hitting his finisher, the Mayan Apocalypse. Then it was a rematch of last week's final in the gauntlet as Rhino came out next, and he defeated Drew Hernandez with the Gore. And then it ended up being between Rhino and the former number 1 contender for the heavyweight title, Corey Storm, in the finals of this gauntlet for this week. And it was a really good back-and-forth ending, but in the end, Corey Storm hits a twister kick, hits the Eye of the Storm off the top rope, gets the 3, and he is your new OVW television champion, knocking off Rhino. After the match, Rhino raises Corey's arm in victory, and Justin Smooth comes out clapping, only to cold cock Rhino, and then go over and knock Corey Storm out with the belt. Smooth poses, but Rhino has gotten back to his feet, gores Smooth, and then takes a look at the heavyweight title. So is Rhino gone? Is this just kind of a one-off for Rhino with the TV title, or could Rhino be coming back again and now have his sights set on the heavyweight championship and Justin Smooth instead of the television championship? That was the biggest news coming out of last night from OVW. Again, you can follow me on Twitter at @TheBrianCannon, at Facebook, facebook.com/OVWManiaBC, or you can follow me on my blog at ovwmania.blogspot.com. You can see all the action, all the recaps from every week. Sometimes I throw in some other things here and there when I have a free moment, but all the recaps are there. If you're interested in OVW, again, especially if you're in the Louisville area, you should be at the Davis Arena every week for their now live TV shows, because they put on a great show each and every week, and it just keeps getting better and better. Al Snow's been doing a great job of bringing in new talent and really raising the bar with OVW, so Ohio Valley Wrestling. That's all I've got for this week. Hope you all have a great week, and we will talk to you next time here on the Dave Dynasty Show.
Since 2001, drug companies dumped 1 billion opioid pills in West Virginia, causing over 3,000 overdose deaths and thousands of babies born addicted by no fault of their own. I'm attorney Stephen New. If you're the grandparent or guardian of a child born with neonatal abstinence syndrome, call me. I'll help you seek just compensation.
Call the law offices of Stephen P. New at 1-844-BAD-PILLS before time runs out.
Justin Smooth, you just won the OVW Heavyweight Championship. How are you feeling right now?
Oh my gosh, how am I feeling? Oh my gosh. From day one, I knew I had it in me. You know what had to change? I stopped caring what people like you thought. And the fans. Number one, the fans. I stopped caring what they wanted. I feel great. It's been a long time coming, man. I done paid my dues. From this day forward, I'm going to do things absolutely my way. My way. That's what got me to the dance, and that's what's going to take me home. My way. Tony Gunn, my friend, I'll send some warm wishes. Get well soon. Speedy recovery. I'll be holding on a fork for you. And I'm going to take OVW and Justin Smooth to new heights. Don't be in a rush to come back, because I got a boot waiting for you if you do.
Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, new OVW Heavyweight Champion, Justin Smooth.
And welcome back to the Dave Dynasty Show. I'm your co-host, Ike Isaacs, and today we are joined with the Trinidad Titan, Justin Smooth. How are you doing today, sir?
Yo, what's up, man?
Hey, not much. Living the dream. Well, hey, we're going to jump right into it. So, Justin, you're from Brooklyn, correct?
Yes, sir. Brooklyn, New York.
Absolutely. Were you born and raised in Brooklyn?
Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. Yes, sir.
What's it like growing up there?
It's okay. You know, it's okay. It has its ups and downs, you know, but there's a lot of places, you know, around America with ups and downs. You know, it made me the man that I am today.
That's absolutely right. You're definitely correct. Everywhere in this world, every city, state, and everywhere's got some ups and downs, that's for sure. But
yeah.
And your family heritage is from Trinidad, thus the nickname, the Trinidad Titan. So what's it mean to you to have that as part of your wrestling, that heritage?
It means everything. It's all I have, you know. It's not a gimmick, you know. It's not something that I practice. It's who I am, you know. And to bring it to the forefront of wrestling and what I'm doing right now, presently, you know, it's the thing that I hold dear to, you know. And nobody could take that away from me. You know what I'm saying? Nobody could take it away from me. So
yeah, that's absolutely true.
It's a package deal. You know, as a performer, that's what I'm bringing to the table. You don't like it, you know, I'm sorry. You know, we can't do business. You know.
Hey, that's nothing to, you know, bat an eye at, you know. I can't remember who said it, but they always say, you know, material things are only for so long, but, you know, family and heritage is forever. So
absolutely.
So
you know,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're okay. I was going to say I didn't mean to interrupt you. But I was going to ask, you know, so we've just talked a little bit about growing up in Brooklyn. Were you a fan of wrestling as a kid, or is that something you grew into later in life?
No, absolutely. I was a fan of wrestling since young. You know, back in the days of the Monday Night Wars, you know, that's when I got my feet wet with watching wrestling, and that's when it hooked me. You know, and from that day forward, you know, I've always been a wrestling fan. I'm a wrestling fan first. You know, just when I got a little bit older, you know, I made some changes to be able to try to make it in the sport, and now here I am, an OVW Heavyweight Champion.
That's absolutely right. And you know, and with wrestling also, you know, is when you start young, you definitely get an appreciation for it, especially when you get older. So obviously with wrestling, you know, you're, like you said, you're a fan first. but eventually you take that step to evolve, and you take that step to become a part of the sport. So when did you decide to start training, and who trained you?
I started a little bit later. I was about 26, I believe. I first trained out with the Wild Samoans in Pennsylvania, the Wild Samoan Training Center, with the great Samu, former WWE champion and Hall of Famer, actually. And then I trained there for, I believe it was probably a year or two, I believe. And then I made the move out to OVW to train with Matt Capitelli and Rick Rogers to elevate my career, obviously, you know. And then, you know, I started working the shows and, you know, going through the ladder over there. And I eventually made my way to the top of OVW, which I'm currently sitting at. And, yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. But, yeah, I started training with the Wild Samoans back in Pennsylvania. By the way, that's where Batista, Gene Snitsky, Billy Kidman, that's where some of those guys got their start at also.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And of course, you know, with the Wild Samoans, there's a lot of history there too, a lot of experience. And you also mentioned Rip Rogers, of course. And here I also have, you know, what about training with Al Snow? Did you ever train with him?
Yeah, we train with him on a weekly basis. He has an intimate, training session with the current roster. It's not really open to the public. So, you know, on a weekly basis, we do train under the tutelage of Al Snow, which is phenomenal. You know, he's a great mind in this business. You know, even though we don't see eye to eye on television or backstage for whatever reasons, he's a great individual to learn the professional wrestling business from the from the psychology, from the art form, all the way to the, you know, entertainment wise.
Yeah,
he has it all.
No, yeah, for sure. And actually, you know, here at the Dave Dynasty Show, we had a chance to speak with Al Snow a while ago, actually, and you know, like you said, that's a very good perspective. Like you said, you may not see eye to eye in the ring, or I should say, in the back or around the ring, but you know, you have to recognize the history he has and the skill he has, of course. But with all these people, I think a common theme is also is OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling. So with Ohio Valley Wrestling, obviously, there is a huge history and legacy around that. So what does it mean to be a part of OVW for you?
Wow. You know, some days it's still a little surreal to me, but you know, it means the world to me. You know, it's an honor to actually wrestle inside of OVW, the Davis Arena, the historic Davis Arena. You know, it's an honor to be the champ. You know, because the list of former champions go way deep, all the way back to, I believe, 97. I believe the first champion. And the names of the former guys who's held that championship, you know, it's astonishing, you know. So it's an honor to be able to get my name in history, you know, and to set a legacy for myself. And I'm glad to be doing it here in Ohio Valley Wrestling.
Right, absolutely. And honestly, to kind of build off of what you just said, you know, and you've actually mentioned this a couple times, but you're a two-time OVW champion. Your current reign started on June 1st, but that title has been held by, like you said, a long line of people like CM Punk, John Cena, Batista, and so many more. So, like you said, it's a pretty big deal to be a part of that lineage.
That's right. Absolutely. It's not to be taken for granted. You know, week in and week out, you know, I do what it takes necessary for me to perform at my best and to be a great performer, you know, because being heavyweight champion of OVW, obviously you're the image of the company. You know, you carry the company, so to speak, on your back. So I have to put my best foot forward every time I'm in front of the camera, every time I have a match. And that's not to be taken lightly. You know, it's a lot of pressure, but guess what? The Trinidad Titan can handle the pressure. And then, you know, that's the reason why I am where I'm at right now inside of OVW, because I'm carrying.
Absolutely. And like you said, there's a lot on you. A company like OVW, OVW, for people who may not know, has a partnership with Amazing Opportunities. But do you see something like that in the future for yourself? Do you think that's something they go for if the opportunity?
To be honest, you know, I'm very open-minded. You know, so I tend to take opportunities and, you know, evaluate with the company I'm in partner with. You know, and I take those into account. So if the right opportunity, let me stress that, the right opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, and that's a smart thing to do, you know, especially, I mean, well, in life, it's like that is always important. But
you know, personally speaking, you know, I will exception, you know, I can see myself being there as well. I believe I add value. I believe a commodity impact extends an opportunity for me. You know, I will take a look at it, you know, and I'll make where I do get it will be opportunity, you know.
Yeah. No, you're good. But I guess to kind of work off that as well, you know, working with OVW, but you get to work television every week. So how important do you think that is, development and prepare for that next step in your career?
Man, working TV, it's independent shows out there that just do live shows. Television is a whole other ballgame. So to learn that aspect of a wrestling program is very vital, you know, especially as a performer and moving forward. It's a skill. It's a skill that once you master it, you'll be a better performer for the people that's paying to watch. You know, and since I've been doing it for quite a while, and since I'm still learning and improving myself, I believe just moving forward, wherever I land myself in the future on any national televised wrestling company, you know, I'll be ready for that step. You know, it's not going to shy me away. You know, it's not going to, I'm sorry. It's not going to shy me. It's not going to make me nervous. You know, I won't get any pressure because I do it on a weekly basis. And, you know, at this point, man, I'm ready. Sky's the limit.
That's right. And like you said, and I feel like a lot of people maybe don't think about this as much, but I think you summarized it very well. You know, having that experience in front of a camera, in front of an audience like that, it's good for your development. It's good for that portfolio that you put together, because ultimately with wrestling, you know, you're putting together a portfolio, which is your work set, your work ethic, and having that under your belt, it just makes you even more of a hot commodity than you already are.
Absolutely.
But another facet of wrestling that a lot of people look at too is, you know, things like rivalries. And currently, you're embroiled in a rivalry with Corey Storm. So, what do you think of Storm as a talent? Tell us a little bit about
that. All right. You know, I'll be a little bit respectful for your audience. You know, I think he's talented. I think he brings some stuff to the table, and I think that's pretty much the good stuff that I have to say about him. You know, I have my own opinions. You know what I'm saying? As far as me and his match coming up September 11th, we have a second match coming up September 11th for OVW Heavyweight Championship. Do I think he has the ability to topple me from the top of the mountain of OVW? Absolutely not. You know, but, you know, I do wish him luck because it does bring him in the limelight. You know, he gets to step in the ring with a superstar, and he gets to see what it's about. You know, I think at the end of that night, he's going to look himself in the mirror, and he's going to say, man, is this really what I want? Is this really what do I think I can bring it to that magnitude of being a performer like the Trinidad Titan? You know, it's going to be an eye-opening experience for him, not me, for him. But, you know, Otherwise, I think he has some talent. I can't knock him on that. He's a talented guy.
You know what? But I guess that goes to the old adage. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. But hey, you had a couple nice things to say about him.
Oh.
You're like, don't worry, the Trinidad Titan, he's got mad respect. No. I kid. So, with our podcast, of course, we talk a lot about wrestling. We are a wrestling podcast after all. But we also like to take a different gear, take it down a different path. Everybody, a lot of people know who Justin Smooth is in the ring. But what a lot of people don't see is what you're like outside of the ring. So tell us a little about yourself. Do you have any interesting hobbies? What's something maybe people don't know a lot about you?
Oh, man. That's a big question, man. Would you want me to sit here and just expose myself? Ask
go ahead.
The question, I will answer it. You see, the thing is, people tune in to watch me on camera. You understand? There's only a select few people that knows the champ outside the ring. There's a reason for that. You understand what I'm saying? There's a reason for that. I'm a very private person. But some hobbies of mine, I do like to watch wrestling on my downtime. I'm into basketball also. I like to work out and, stuff like that. And, I'm a pretty young fella, so I like to enjoy life, hang out, things of that nature, without getting too crazy into details, Just, basic activities that keeps the regular human being going on a week-to-week basis,
Hey, that's fair enough, eh? Like you said, got to keep that line up a little bit, give us a little bit, but not too much. Got to keep the mystery.
Hey, you see, this business, man. You know the business in and out, man.
I don't know if I know it in and out, but I know just enough.
Well, you're good.
I appreciate it. But, so, now that we've talked a little bit about your personal life, we'll get back to wrestling. But, with 2019 coming to a close, it's crazy to think that we're already in September of 2019. I feel like it just started. But
that's right.
2019 still has enough time to make a huge just impact on anything. So what kind of goals do you have for the rest of 2019? What can we expect out of the Trinidad Titan for the rest of the year?
Oh, wow. I will continue to elevate myself on a weekly basis. I'm going to continue to elevate OVW on a weekly basis. The Trinidad Titan is going to do what he does best, and that's to entertain. I intend on closing out the year as the OVW Heavyweight Champion and continuing the preceding year as OVW Champion as well. And if any opportunities pass my way that I deem is interesting and I deem that is profitable for myself and my brand, I would take a close look, and if necessary, I would jump on it. And there's a lot of opportunities out in the sport. Professional wrestling has been opening up a few doors within the last couple of years. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. So, opportunities will present itself as time go on. But my main job right now is just carrying OVW to heights that it's been before and further. And, Al Snow's doing his part with trying to just broaden the brand of OVW with people that are not aware of OVW, even here in Kentucky. So we would, hand in hand, we would continue to expand and broaden our horizons. And, hopefully before the year is over, we're going to be we are going live TV every single week. We're going to be starting live TV every Tuesday night starting in October. So that's a big step. That's definitely a big step for independently operated out promotion, being live TV every single week.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, I mean, for independent wrestling especially, I feel like there's not a whole lot of I mean, there is some, but there's not a lot of awareness. But I feel like OVW is sort of paving the way, hopefully for more and more promotions to take that step, because, independent wrestling is the lifeblood of professional wrestling. So, without that, we have no wrestling, I feel like.
Yeah. A lot of stuff come out from the independents, and OVW are different. There's a lot of guys and gals on the roster, that are capable of headlining the biggest stages in this sport, nationally, worldwide even. We have some talent there. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the Trinidad Titan is included in that statement.
But yeah, for sure, man. I'm just setting myself aside on that one because that's a good one. But
that's
aside for me, there is some good talent backstage, at OVW that have the ability to, make an impact. No pun intended, make an impact on the nationally and worldwide stage with professional wrestling.
That's absolutely right. So, first and foremost, before we finish out here, I want to thank you, of course, for giving us some time on a Friday night. Friday nights are always busy for people, so we really appreciate, you giving us a couple minutes of your time to go through everything and talk to you about wrestling. But before I let you go, I want to give you an opportunity, because a part of professional wrestling nowadays is your brand and making sure you're out there. And social media is so important. So do you have any social medias where fans or, bookers maybe can check you out and see what you're up to and keep up with the Trinidad Titan?
Sure. I'm on Instagram, Justin_Smooth. It won't be hard to find that. As well as Facebook, I believe it's Justin Smooth, OVW, or you could just search Justin Smooth. I'm sure you can find me on that. I also have Twitter, and I believe it's under Justin Smooth also, or the Trinidad Titan. And you can just follow me, stay up to date with the things I'm doing, stay up to date with, my current feuds. And there's a lot of stuff that I do share, wrestling-wise, on my social media accounts, so you can stay in tune with how I'm doing, what I'm doing, where I'm heading.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you again, Justin, for giving us the time to talk to you. Getting to talk to a OVW champion is, very few and far between, I feel like, because it is such an honor to be able to talk to somebody of that caliber. So we appreciate you giving us some time here and talk to us about wrestling, because really it's always incredible to talk to somebody with such talent. So we really appreciate you giving us some time here on the Dave Dynasty Show.
It's a pleasure, man. Thank you. It's an honor.
Are you looking for the newest and hottest in the world of pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 6,000 hours of the best events from over 150 of your favorite promotions from 20 different countries around the globe. Brands like Progress Wrestling, Evolve Wrestling, Combat Zone, Defy, PCW Ultra, PWX, Over the Top, Shine, and hundreds of others with fresh content added every day for only $5.99 per month. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
Just use promo code DYNASTY. If you are looking for the best books, DVDs, and posters on classic wrestling nostalgia, then you want to visit crowbarpress.com. There are literally dozens of titles there, including biographies of the likes of Bruiser Brody, Ole Anderson, Ivan Koloff, and of course, Dick the Bruiser, as we've spoke about here on the Dave Dynasty Show. You want to visit crowbarpress.com for all of your classic wrestling nostalgia needs. Again, that is crowbarpress.com. All right, and thank you for listening today to another episode of the Dave Dynasty Show, your podcast covering Midwest professional wrestling for free every week. And to keep it free and to help support the show, please go out there and do those things that keep us for free and keep us churning. You can go to PROWRESTLINGTEES.com Facebook.com/The Dave Dynasty and buy a shirt. We have the new Bruiser Buddy shirt up there, which is selling very well. Go get yourself one now while they're available. You can go to paypal.me/The Dave Dynasty and make a one-time financial contribution to the show, or go to patreon.com/The Dave Dynasty and make ongoing monthly contributions. Remember, every little bit helps. It helps keep us churning along for free every week. Next week, we have a great episode as we go into one of those historical dives with John Lawson back on the show, and we will be covering some of the women of the WWA. We will talk about Cora Combs, Debbie Combs, Princess Jasmine, and Miss Bunny Love. We put a poll out there, and the voting was so close that John and I decided we're just going to cover all four. So lots of stuff coming on there, on that episode about them, including John Lawson, former ringside photographer for WWA, and newsletter, fanzine, editor, producer, covered all the happenings in WWA. He will be on wherever you listen to this podcast. Make sure you subscribe to us and leave a rating and review where applicable, and share all of our posts on social media. Again, you go to davedynasty.com. That is your central hub for everything. We do appreciate everything you do to support the show. We appreciate you being here every week, listening to us. And until next week, when we return with that special historical dive and look at the women of the WWA, this is Dave Dynasty. This is the Dave Dynasty Show. And wherever you go and whatever you do, be good, be safe, and keep on growing.
OVWWrestlingNetwork.com. It's only $4.99 a month. In between excitement, me too. OVWWrestlingNetwork.com is only $4.99 a month. Want a real value? OVWWrestlingNetwork.com. It's only $4.99. That's a price so low. Well, it's insane.